is open accessing publishing. Explain the online resources to check publisher copyright and self-achieving policies. So here open access, it is refers to the practice of making peer-reviewed scholarly research and literature freely available online to anyone interested in reading it. What are the achieving rights? Institutional open access repositories, subject repositories, author homepage, institution homepage, social media platforms, third party websites. So what is this SHERPA Romeo project? It is a securing a hybrid environmental for research preservation and access rights metadata for open achieving. So SHERPA Romeo Project, it is not for profit initiative. What it is not for a profit initiative. They have some objective. Okay, they are not made for profit. Okay, they have some objective, not for profit initiative. It aggregates and presents publisher and journal open access policies. It aggregates and presents publisher and journal open access policies. It will be reviewed, analyzed by specialist team. So it is reviewed and analyzed by a specialist team. First, whatever the project is there, that project is not for a profit purpose, and next it aggregates and presents publisher and journal open access policies. Next, that will be next reviewed, analyzed by a specialist team, and it provides summaries of self-achieving permissions. It will provide a, after reviewed and analyzed by a specialist team, it will provide summary of self-achieving permissions. Okay, self-achieving permissions. So what rights given to the author on a journal by journal basis, and Romeo's own database covers around 22,000 journals. So Romeo own database covers around 22,000 journals. So upgradation, how we do the upgradation? Via community contributions. The aim, what is the aim of this? Aim is to establish a institutional repositories and open access achieving. Open access achieving. So here they list the copyright, and publisher policies, publishing policies. So whenever we publish, or what are the copyright rules and publishing policies, we should know before we submit the paper, right? So what is the copyright and publishing policies? What are the policies? And this, so if we know the copyright and publishing policies, so that it will helpful for the authors to take decision, okay, with respect to the publication. Next, it gives a publication information such as a title. So what title, ISSN, URL, publishers, and it gives also information regarding publishing policy such as OA fees, that is open access fees, open access publishing, embargo, license, copyright owner, location, and so on for the published and accepted and submitted versions. If an academic author wants to put this research article online, so they are faced with many problems, okay, complex situations. So some publishers prohibit authors from using their own articles. Others will allow it, but only under certain conditions. For example, they should give a mail ID to subscribe or follow up. So based on certain conditions they will allow. Okay, if we register, okay, free registration or with a pay registration, so based on some certain conditions only they will allow. So the publishers prohibit authors from using their own articles. allow it, but only under certain conditions. Romeo helps to clarify the situations. Romeo contains publisher general policy on self-achieving. Okay, so here Sherpa, here it can have a publishing policies. Okay, publishing policies, here it is a publisher's general policies on self achieving of journal articles and certain conference series. So it provides information regarding what version of an article can be deposited under what conditions. Okay, what version of an article can be deposited and under what conditions, and so on. SHERPA Romeo application programmer interface, it is a machine to machine interface. Okay, it is a machine to machine interface which lets programmers access Romeo data from their application. Here XML send request to the Sherpa server. Okay, Sherpa server. So there it is a which is sent against the Romeo database, where there is a Romeo database. So they run against the Romeo database, and what they do, and that results, and the results returned as a XML file. Okay, that results returned as a XML file. So that here this is a for test purpose. What they do, API for test purpose, it is entered in a address bar of a browser. For example, either it may be a Firefox or Internet Explorer. Okay, Firefox or Internet Explorer. Properly structured XML should then be displayed. So whatever we got returned as a XML file, so for test purpose they checked, and that should be displayed here. So how many types of request? 8 types of request we can do here. So what is that? First, you remember R cube, J cube, PC. So what is this R cube? R cube is a first Romeo database record ID. Okay, based on record ID we can send a request, and based on Romeo color. Okay, based on Romeo color we can send a database. Based on Romeo color, R cube, that is J cube, PC. So R cube Romeo color, Romeo database record ID, and the Romeo update date. Okay, based on record ID, date and color we can send a request. Next, J3. Okay, so first J, journal title or journal follow up or journal ISSN. Okay, next P, so publisher name like keywords and strings. Next C, country of the publisher head office. So country of the publisher's head office. So these are the 8 types of request can be made in this API. So once again I repeat. So what is a open access? Refers to the, it is a practice of making peer-reviewed scholarly research literature freely available. That means many papers are available. Okay, many journals are available which is required literature. So from many years, so many data is available, literature freely available online to anyone interested can read it. Okay, so next, what is the achieving rights? Institutional open access repositories, subject repositories, homepage, author homepage, institution homepage, social media platforms, third party websites. So here Sherpa, securing a hybrid environment, for research preservation and access, writes metadata for open achieving. So it is not this project is not for a profit purpose. So it is have some objective. It aggregates, it will collect, it aggregates and it will present a publishers and journal open access policies. Journal open access policies. Next, it is reviewed, analyzed. So who will review and analyze? By a specialist team. Okay, so who will review and analyze? By a specialist team. Next, that, so if for example one paper is there, we have submitted, they will review and analyze by specialist team and they send a feedback. Okay, they send a summary. Okay, like that, you remember, provide a summaries of self-achieving permissions. Provide a summaries of self-achieving permissions. Next, they give a right to the so after selecting and submitted, you will, so they give a summary. Next, they give a right to, they give a certificate. Okay, you have a published already paper, so you got a certificate, right? So you have a right on that particular paper. So like that, you remember, rights given to the authors on a journal by journal basis. So next, so published paper will be available. Where it is available? In the database. Okay, so Romeo own database covers around 22,000 journals. Next, how you have upgraded? Via community contributions. Okay, upgradation via community contributions. The aim is to what? The aim is to establish institutional repositories and open access achieving. Next, the basically list, what it will list? It will list the copyright and publishing policies. So why it is doing, why it has been done listing? Because in order to help the authors to make a decision with respect to the publication. So it gives a publication information such as title, ISSN, URL, publishers. It gives information regarding publisher policies such as open access fee, open access publishing, embargo, license, copyright owners, location, and so on for published, accepted and submitted versions. So for example, if an academic author, so academic author means who is working in the colleges, like that we shall think. Okay, academic author wants to publish a paper, he wants to put his such research article online. So they have more complications. Okay, so they are faced with the increasingly complex situations. So publishers prohibit authors from using their own articles. So publishers, what they do? They prohibit authors from using their own article. They have already published. Okay, they want to check their own article, but it is not open access, it is not available. Okay, so some will allow it and some will do a restriction. Okay, so others allow it, but only under certain conditions. Romeo helps to clarify the situation. So it contains what it will contains. Before we have said that publishing policies. Okay, now Romeo contains, that is it contains publisher general policies on self-achieving. Okay, on self-achieving of journal articles and certain conference series. It provides information regarding what version of an article can be done, can be deposited under what conditions. So what version of an article can be done, can be deposited under what conditions, and so on. So here SHERPA Romeo application programmer interface. It is a machine to machine interface which lets programmers access Romeo data from their applications. So HTML request sent to the SHERPA server. So where they are run against the Romeo database, and the results are written as an XML file. In order to test or check the what is whether it is reached or whether we got the correct. So for test purpose, API request may be entered into the address bar of a browser such as Internet Explorer or Firefox. So properly structured. So here results returned as an XML file that need to be displayed. So XML should be then be displayed. So here 8 types of request has been done. So request can be made. So remember, R cube, J cube, PC. Okay, thank you.